Hi. In this video, we're going to talk about NEP 2020 and the impact it's going to have on our education. India in all these years has focused on getting education to its population or all its students, but not as focused on the quality of education. How do we know this? If we look at the PISA test that is given by OECD across 79 countries, India gave that test in 2009. It was taken by some schools in Himachal Pradesh and some schools in Tamil Nadu. And India ranked among the last countries in the world. Since then, we have focused on, the government has been trying to change the education, and finally, it has changed it with the NEP 2020. Worldwide, some of the best curriculums in the world, or the best countries that have focused on education are Singapore. It's been ranking 1 for so many years. Finland, South Korea, China, some states in China, and so on. So these countries have been in the top in science, in mathematics, and even in reading. NEP 2020 is focusing on quality education rather than reaching education to its population. So what are the key changes? One is it's restructuring its entire progression. So the current progression that is there, you generally have admissions in first standard. Before that was kindergarten, that is age 6. Then it went all the way till primary years, probably grade 3 or 4. Then the middle years, grade 5 to 7. And the high school from grade 8 to grade 10, and then the PUC 11th and 12th. It is changing that, and now it's saying even the early years from age 3 to all the way to age 8, that is from kindergarten, pre-K to grade 2 is the foundation stage. Now you need to understand that we in India, like for example, when I was educated, we focused on sending our kids to tuitions or coachings when they are in 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. We thought that education is very important then. But in the kindergarten, nobody focused it. Finally, the government realizes, and the education policy people who have done it realize that the education or the primary years is the foundation of all learning. And it's entirely a play-based learning. Let's say you take a building, there is so much focus on the foundation. But in education, for example, the focus was on the top years of education. That is changing. Now, one of the things that you have to realize is that when we do education in India, if you look at grade 1, grade 2, the textbooks were already introduced, reading was introduced, writing was introduced. But now the policy says all the way from pre-K to grade 2 is only play-based multi-level learning. It's only in grade 3 where the textbooks are introduced to some extent. That is called light textbooks, and that's as per the policy. It's from grade 6 to 8 is the middle years, where some amount of or good amount of abstract thinking is brought into place. And then a very strong foundation or a very strong focus on education in the secondary years, that's from 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So what are the key changes that have come in place? There are several key changes. But one of the most important thing is the focus or the amount of money that's going to be spent on education. India's only resources, or the key resource India has, is its human population. And so human potential or the human resource, if developed well, can make this country very prosperous. So focusing on developing the human resource is going to be the key focus through the NEP 2020. So learning has to change from rote learning to a very holistic learning. What we mean by that is a real understanding of the concepts, a real understanding of, for example, whatever is being taught there and the application of what is being taught there. Also, we have to develop our students to become self-learners. And we have to develop our students to, for example, be self-motivated and give them skills on learning. So we have to teach them learning how to learn. The second key change is reducing content. So the focus on reducing content is to enhance essential learning and critical thinking. These are the key skills that are going to come. Final thing is the experiential learning, hands-on learning. So Einstein used to say, experience is learning. Everything else is just information. So if our students are given, for example, information, but they're not taught on how to implement it, how to practice it, then we are just teaching information. And information is now available in Google or the World Wide Web. We should teach them how to use this information to solve problems, how to be creative, or how to, for example, to communicate better their ideas. These are going to be essential for any person to be better employed going forward. So other key changes, when you're going in secondary, You don't have to stick to, for example, commerce, arts, or sciences. You can be interdisciplinary. You can choose concepts from or subjects from any of these disciplines and finish your secondary. So there should be more emphasis on the mother tongue and the local languages. So the key thing that's going to happen is 3-language policy. Is it good or bad? We'll discuss in a minute. While the NEP has been widely appreciated, one of the only point of contention that has come is the 3-language policy. And it has come because it is mandatory, no matter which board it is, they need to have 3 languages. And 2 of them have to be the languages from the country. So now, previously to this, when we did the video on the boards, we said that CBSE board or the CISCE board or ICSE board needed only 2 languages. Now it's going to be mandatory that all these boards have 3 languages. In addition to that, whenever possible, very specifically, whenever possible, the medium of instruction until grade 5, but preferably till grade 8, should be the local language or the mother tongue. Now, that's going to be hard if you have got a job that's going to require you to move from state to state. Let's say you are a parent in Karnataka and you've done a CBSE and you've taken 2 languages. One of them is Kannada and one of them is Hindi and English. Now, if you go to Maharashtra and you get a transfer to, for example, Delhi, you might not find a school that will offer you Kannada. And that might become difficult. And that might be the case for moving from anybody from state to state if you've taken any of the boards, Indian boards. There are huge changes in the way the examinations are going to be conducted as well. Now, at board level, for example, state board, CBSE board or CISE board, is to conduct exams in 10th and 12th. That will continue. In addition to that, there will be 2 exams. One is for, you can give 2 exams, like you can give the JEE main exams and you can improve upon it. That will happen in 10th and 12th. So you can give 1 exam and then focus on improving the results in the subsequent exam. In addition to this, at grade 3, at grade 5 and grade 8, there would be board level examinations. Now, the intentions are good with this examination. That is, we want to give these examinations to improve the schooling system or find out how the students are progressing. I hope the schools don't take it wrongly and prepare the students for the 3rd level exams or the 5th grade exams or the 8th grade exams. And then they're saying, pushing children or forcing parents to prepare for those exams. Then the whole point is lost. Here, the intention is good. I hope the implementation happens with the same way. One of the most important change or one of the beautiful change that has come is the way or the change in assessments. Assessments now is only measured your cognitive skills, right? And that is not fair on any student. Now, implementation of the NEP will bring in a 360-degree evaluation system or assessment system. It's not only going to measure your cognitive skills, it's going to measure your affective skills and your psychomotor skills. Now, what is an affective skill? Skills and behavioral skills, emotional skills, attitudes. These are very important because emotional IQ is equivalent or is even as good as and cognitive IQ. But till now, it is not measured. It's also going to assess your psychomotor skills, your physical skills, your motor skills, and so on. And that's critical. Now, this evaluation or this assessment is not only done by the teacher, it's going to be done by your peers as well and yourself. Now, this is beautiful. But we have to train our teachers, or this system will require to train the teachers and the students to get it done well. Ideas are good. Implementation, again, is going to be the key. One of the other change that has happened is the focus on the Gifted Children program. Now, current education system, if you're a teacher in the class, you focused on the average student. You couldn't focus on the top students. You couldn't focus on the bottom students. You catered to the average student. And it was difficult if you really had a gifted children in the school. There is no way to focus on this or develop them. Now the NEP has come up with a way that the Gifted Children program would be developed, and there would be focus right now more on Olympiads, on the national level exams, and the schools would be required to train these gifted children towards these national level exams. Now, in addition to this, for example, which is NIS, which is an open school board, and if there were students who wanted to pursue, athletics or other careers, wanted to be in an open schooling system, had to give an examination only in the 10th and in the 12th. Now, even with the changes here, you could give an examination in grade 3, grade 5, grade 8, grade 10 and 12. Now, that change will help students who are homeschooled to go and enter a board at the end of grade 3, end of grade 5, end of grade 8, and so on. So NIS also is going to benefit significantly with the changes in the NEP. These are some of the changes that have come in the NEP 2020, and I focus on the key changes from grade 1 to grade 12. There are more changes in the higher grades and so on. Now, these changes will bring a quality education to our students, to our children, and this will, improve our rankings, worldwide rankings in the education system. Now, it all will depend on how well it is implemented. The key changes, for example, the progression is definitely a plus. The focus on the foundation stage is a great change. The changes in the examination is going to be depending on how schools are going to take it. If they take it on the aspect of improving their school education or improving the quality of education, that's great. But if they focus on preparing them for those board exams, that's a negative change. The 3-language policy is the one that is on contention right now, because that will limit parents from moving state to state because of the 3-language policy. Other than that, overall a great policy. And I hope this policy will change India's education for the good. If you like this video, or if this video has helped you in some way, please like this video and give us a thumbs up. Thank you.